So it's Monday, and my first class of the day was Death and Ritual. Can I just say, what a way to start off the day! What a way to start off the week, for Pete's sakes! And I think it's completely appropriate for the time. However, if I live long enough, life will eventually kill me. Because one thing is certain, life is 100% fatal for all of creation. However, I have thought about ways that I don't want to die, like, I don't want to burn, I don't want to drown, I'd really like to not be in pain if I die. However, I think the ultimate best way to die would be eating one of my favorite things in the world, which is Krispy Kreme cream-filled donuts. I mean, Corona versus Krispy Kreme, I'm actually sure the Krispy Kreme would win out because the cops are going too hog wild for me to actually risk dying with Corona. But one thing that I find interesting about Death and Ritual is the mentality behind the burial and the practices from the different cultures. And one thing we have learned is that death masks are very common for many cultures. If it's not the whole of the skull that they dissociate from the body and then make it up, they actually take the person's face and they kind of try to mold clay or stone or something to look like that person, resemble them, or they wear masks to ward off kind of evil things. There's a number of reasons for masks, but essentially they're death masks. And I'm thinking, we have a new death mask in town. Okay, like Death Mask 2020, welcome, hello. At any rate, we can't avoid death. It is most certain, but we can be certain of what happens after death. John 3:16 says, "For God so loved the world that whosoever, anyone, anywhere, anytime, believes in him." Well, it says God so loved the world that he gave his only son, that whosoever believes in him should not perish, but would have everlasting life. And that's a great promise for any person who is struggling with the unknown of death, the fear of the physical process of death, any of that, whatever. God is a God of promise, and he promises those who accept his son in faith will have eternal life. So that's just something to think about while we're going through this thing, that you may not be certain about a pandemic, but you can certainly be certain about a promise.